Okay, every pony, I wanted really to read all my chapters today, but due to certain events in my real life, which has priority above everything else, I was not able to. But I will at least try to read chapter 2 now and release it before I go to bed. Okay, that said, I hope you enjoy this. Let's see. Children of the Night, Chapter 2, Moonsinger. Princess Luna was still hugging her adopted daughter when a low cough from one of her guards brought her back to reality. A swift glance over her shoulder showed her that Pincushion, a grey-coated earth pony stallion with blue mane, was trembling under her sister's weight, deciding there would be time enough for celebrations later. Even so, the unicorn mare gave her a look of disappointment. A gentle look from her, however, ensured the mare that she would make up for it later. I feel I owe all of you an explanation, but before that there are more urgent matters at hoof. Luna turned towards two Pegasus stallions that were with the group that had come to their aid earlier. Starfire, Flametail, please bring my sister to the nearest inn so she can rest. Don't forget to bring a doctor along, though. I think she will need one. As you wish, mother. The two stallions said in unison before they took Celestia from Pincushion and flew off with her between them. The other 5 ponies didn't want to move, however. They continued to watch over Luna and her guards expectantly. Goldshield and her comrades found themselves in a quite difficult position on the other hoof. Goldshield had been hesitant to let these Pegasus take Princess Celestia, but she had no other choice. She had seen these ponies fight, and even if she hadn't, she and the other guards were exhausted from galloping most of the night. There would be no way of taking out even one of them in their current state. All she could do was to trust Princess Luna, just like Shining Armor would have done. Very well then, every pony. I welcome you to my refuge. I welcome you to the Garden of Shadows, Luna said kindly. Garden of Shadows? Mind me, but that ain't a very happy name for a place as lively, Cherry Pie commented before realizing to whom she was talking, and winced at her own words. Luna, however, just chuckled at her guard's irony. You are quite right, Cherry Pie, but this place was not founded on happy terms or in happy times. But before you get bored with my refuge's history, let me introduce my daughter. The brown unicorn mare with dark brown ears, blonde tail and mane stepped forward. This is Moonsinger. Before any of you ask, no, she's not my biological daughter, but I love her no less because of that. Does that make her a princess as well? Quick Arrow asked while tilting his head to one side like a puppy examining a particular interesting thing. Luna was about to answer him when Moonsinger glared at Quick Arrow and lashed out at him, her eyes glowing in rage. I do not desire any kind of royalty or recognition from you daylight ponies. Your titles and ranks mean nothing to me or any of us. Neither do we recognize your princess as the rightful ruler of Equestria. She has done nothing to earn our respect, but casts us aside like garbage. The only authority we accept is our dear mother. There was so much poison in her tone that Goldshield seriously feared for her comrade's safety for a moment, when Luna interfered with Moonsinger's fit of rage. Placing a hoof on her daughter's shoulder, the unicorn looked up at Luna. The Princess of the Night gave her a look of disappointment in return. I think it might be better if I continue from here, Moonsinger. I don't remember raising you to insult my sister's authority or to lash out at my subjects. The unicorn mare looked down at her hoofs, looking like a little filly that had just got scolded for stealing a cookie from the cookie jar. Her eyes slowly returned to her light green color. So, what should you do if you did something wrong? Princess Luna looked down on her daughter with a smile on her face. Apologize. So? Mother, I'm grown up now. There's no need to... Oh, I think there is a need to lecture you if you do something wrong. So come on, apologize to them. Oh, all right. Moonsinger turned towards the guards again, and this time her expression was one of joy and happiness. The angry unicorn from just seconds ago seemed so unreal all of a sudden. I greet thou and welcome you in the Garden of Shadows. Every pony is welcome here, as long as they stay true to our dear mother and her teachings. My name is Moonsinger, and I sincerely apologize for my earlier outburst, but Celestia is a touchy subject for me. With that she gave the group of guards a bow, as if she was greeting visiting royalty. They were so surprised that they returned the gesture, not to be seen as rude. When all of them had stood up again, Luna put her left wing around her daughter and gave her a look of approval while pulling her closer. I imagine there will be no more bad blood between us, so let us continue where I left off earlier. I was about to tell you about this place, and I think it is crucial that you know these things before you wander its streets. All of you might remember that my sister and I have not always been the rulers of Equestria. The three races had been divided for a long time. Only after the events of Hearthwarming Eve did they start to work together. To ensure that all three races had a say in the fate of the newfound kingdom, a grand council was formed. They made all the decisions, and it seemed like everything was going fine, until Discord came along. He used his strange magic on the council, and suddenly there was infighting between the races again. Strange enough, my sister and I, both representatives of the unicorns in the council, were immune to his influence. We descended to alicorns after we banished discords with the ancient magic of the elements of harmony. After that, the land was in chaos, and there was a great shortage in food. Many children had lost their homes and family due to the infighting that had ruled during that short amount of time. The orphanages were overflowing, and many foals never even got into one. Most had to fight for their survival on a daily basis. Moonsinger here was one of them. Even so, her name back then was Cherry Scotch. On one of my visits to inspect an orphanage in Huffington, I met her for the first time. We talked for a great length of time, and I would have liked to adopt her, but I could not without my sister's permission. We had been decided upon as equal rulers to Equestria, but that also meant that neither of us could do something without the other one agreeing. I saw how awful the foals were, and I heard stories from Cherry Scotch that made the hairs on my neck stand up in horror. I had to do something about it. Forming a plan in my head, I presented the idea of this place to my sister. Here I could teach the orphans how to plant and harvest crops. I could teach them what they needed to stay alive, in other words. Celestia, however, objected my idea. She thought that this would divide the kingdom and destabilize it even more. I started an argument with her, but she's quite headstrong. If she has decided something, there's no way of convincing her of something else. Luna sighed as she remembered what she had done all those years ago. In retrospect, it had been the right thing to do, but back then she had always been afraid of punishment for defying her sister. Anyway, I did it anyway. One night after I had put up the moon, I flew over all of Equestria and gathered all the foals without a family. I brought them here and created this barrier that shrinks every pony who steps inside. This way I created a whole land for my children. This clearing is only about 100 hoofs in radius, but shrunk to the size of ants. Millions can live here. With my magic I created this town at the very edge of the barrier, with a house for each of the older foals. They all took in several of the younger ones, and took care of them. I helped them as good as I could, of course. Cherry Scotch, however, did not want to stay with any of the newly formed families, so I took her under my wing personally. That was when she became my adopted daughter. But I could only come by at night, and they only were used to living in the light of day. That changed with time. After a few months my children became nocturnal, and I also discovered many other changes in them. Imagine my horror when I found out that my magic leaked out of the barrier and affected them. My worries were laid to rest soon when I discovered that these changes were of positive nature. Earth ponies inherited some of my physical strength, unicorns some of my magical talent, and the Pegasi became faster than any of those outside the barrier. Also did I discover that they age very slowly, only about twice the rate of an alicorn. For a mortal pony, that is quite amazing. All that is due to their lives inside my barrier. Had I not done anything about it, many of them would have starved on the streets or had suffered an even more gruesome fate. And that's the sole reason why you can all come to know ponies who were born long before your grandparents were. The downside was that my children became very sensitive to sunlight. They would never again be able to live like normal ponies. Me becoming Nightmare Moon had something to do with that. I wanted to bring eternal night, so my children wouldn't have to hide inside during daytime. I did it so that not every ray of sunlight hurt their eyes and caused them terrible headaches. I did it so that my children could always be embraced by the gentle light of the moon. How my rebellion ended, you all know. I can't blame Moonsinger to feel a little angry over my banishment, nor any of the others, but please try to understand them. They see me as their mother, and Celestia took that away from them for 1,000 years. Please try to get along with them. Now let's leave it at that. Moonsinger, please escort them to the inn. I trust my old quarters in the town hall are still intact? Of course, mother. Except the weekly cleaning and the changing of the sheets, the room has been left untouched. Very well. Guard Captain Goldshield. Yes, your majesty? Please follow Moonsinger with the rest of your squad. Tomorrow night we will have to start planning a counterattack. Chrysalis shall not win this. Absent-minded, Luna started to trot towards the town hall, leaving her guards behind. Moonsinger gestured for the guards to follow her, even so it was obvious that she would have loved to just throw them out of the barrier again, right into the changeling horde. Princess Luna's request to escort them, however, seemed to be absolute for her, something that was not up to debate. Goldshield sighed in relief. She wanted to send a few guards with the Princess of the Night, but the 5 remaining citizens of this strange place had already taken a defensive formation around her. A frown formed on her face. These ponies would not let anyone near her, not even her own royal guard. Of that much she was sure. Still more than frustrated about the fact that her rank and profession meant nothing here, she trotted after Moonsinger, who had already gone ahead, followed by the other guards. Quick Arrow looked around as a strange unicorn mare, who was supposed to be Princess Luna's daughter, led them through the streets of this strange settlement. He saw a market going on, in the middle of the night, lit by several lanterns floating in the air. They were, no doubt, held in place by magic. The awkward silence among the small procession was unbearable for the energetic Pegasus. So, what is this place called anyway? I mean, you already told us that we are in the Garden of Shadows, but I think that's more like the name of this whole area, not this town, is it not? He asked Moonsinger, trying to get the conversation going. You are right. This land, or better this clearing of the Everfree Forest, is called the Garden of Shadows. This settlement is named Gemini. You will soon discover that many towns in the garden are named after constellations on the night sky, in honor of our dear mother. How come you even knew we were in danger back there? Pincushion joined in their question. Well, that is rather easy. All of us carry a spark of our mother's magic in us. When she used her powers to reach out to us, that spark acted like a compass, leading us right to her. Moonsinger's tone was friendly, but she didn't turn around once to look at her mother's subjects. So what did you do to those changelings? This was Goldshield, who had just caught up with the group. Well, what would you do to some pony who was threatening your mother? We killed them, of course. We had to deal with changelings in the past, and they usually know better than to approach our land. You killed all of them? Quick Arrow added, the shock obvious in his voice. Yes, we did. After you had left the area, about 50 of them came charging at us. But it was an uneven battle. I could have done it alone, if I had to. Goldshield could not believe this. Princess Luna, as she knew her, was so gentle and kind, even though she was a little short-tempered at times. But imagining that this mare, who was talking about killing others as if it was the most natural thing to do, to be raised by the gentle princess? Do you enjoy killing that much? Princess Celestia taught us that killing is never right. But even as the words left her muzzle, Goldshield knew she had made a mistake. Moonsinger turned around so quickly that Goldshield almost collided with her. Her eyes were once again aglow, and she was obviously furious. I do not enjoy killing another, but I will not let any pony escape who endangers my mother, my sisters, or my brothers. We are no monsters, but we do what has to be done. That is one of our dear mother's most important rules, and you'd better remember it. What good is mercy against an enemy that wants nothing more than to take your life and do horrible things to the ones you love? Sparing them only gives them more time to prepare better next time, more time to plan against you and eventually stab you in the back. I don't know how you bunch of naive foals got our mother through their lines, and I don't care. The fact that you did is reason enough for me not to throw you out immediately. That and the fact that our dear mother wishes for your safety are the sole reasons you are still here. It is true that every pony is welcome here, but I seriously don't think you will fit in. We will help you to recapture your kingdom, if that is what our dear mother wants. Afterwards, however, I never want to see your sorry flanks here again, or I will show you why the changelings call me Bloodsinger. Did I make myself completely clear? Most of the guards were shocked at the outburst, but Goldshield stood up to Moonsinger. She placed herself between her and the rest of the guards, her stance low, ready to charge. I am loyal to both princesses, no matter what you say. The princesses ordered us to get along with you, and we do our best here to do so. We even show interest in the separate culture you have developed in a millennia of separation from us. Now will you calm down, Moonsinger, or do I have to beat some sense back into you until you understand that I didn't mean to insult you or your lifestyle? Moonsinger's eyes lost their glow immediately, and for a moment she looked dumbstruck at the Earth Pony mare, before breaking out in laughter. You? Beating sense into me? Goldshield's anger grew stronger and stronger, since the unicorn was not taking her serious. But were she to actually attack Moonsinger, she knew that she would most likely suffer the same fate as these changelings. Instead, she decided on a different approach. Well, it was worth a try, wasn't it? She tried to make fun of her own previous statement when Moonsinger's hoof clapped on her shoulder. Maybe I misjudged you, Goldshield. I liked your humor. A few minutes later. The atmosphere between Moonsinger and the guards had lightened up. Even so, she was mostly talking to Goldshield, to whom she seemed to have taken a liking. She showed them many things, and it soon became obvious that she showed them the scenic route, the Lunar Temple, the Crater Restaurant, and even a strange counterpart to Pony&Wolf's Sweet Apple Acres were only a few of the sights that Moonsinger showed them. After a while they reached the town square again, only a few hundred hoofs away from where they had started. Goldshield sighed as her suspicions were confirmed. This almost 30-minute detour surely was Moonsinger's way of revenge for ticking her off earlier. The now even more exhausted group came to a stop in front of a building shaped like the head of a giant timber wolf. Fair enough, the sign above the door said, "The Timberhead." Whew, okay every pony, this is chapter 2, Moonsinger. I really think I will edit this today and upload it, but no promises. Maybe I'll upload it in the early hours tomorrow, because, well, it's not really late, but I'm tired. Sincerely yours, Visual Pony.